Napa know-how.
The Napa guy knows not to judge a man by his car's multicolored paint job or absence of modern gadgetry. Who cares if it's technically old enough to vote and the windows are powered by the strength of your left arm? Your monthly payment is zero, and it'll stay that way. Because with over 500,000 parts and a little Napa know-how, you can keep anything on the road. She may not be pretty, but she's all yours. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
Hi, you guys. This is Good Deeds, and I'm Dr. Renee Sunday. I know you having an awesome, a fabulous, a wonderful time. The key is to remember you got to be spontaneous. You have to be able to change up when the things that's going on. You need to be able to say that you're in your purpose. If I call you at 3 in the morning, you should be able to tell me that you actually are doing your thing. So we're just here today, and we just want to let you know that you are amazing. The thing we do here at Good Deeds, we actually help you shine your light to the world. That means your goals, your dreams, your purpose, the reason that you are here. Okay? Now, you know why you're here, right? And my team is getting some things together. I actually had to do a combination purpose today. But it's all is well. It's all is well. So if somebody calls you, you should be able to say, you are amazing. You are fabulous, and you are wonderfully made. And that's what I want you to know. But we're going to actually do a couple of things right here. We're going to actually play one of our premium sponsors actually has a drop that they actually want to do. And we're going to actually play that, and we'll be right back. This is Good Deeds, and I'm Dr. Renee Sunday.
This is John Schamberger, founder and CEO of Millionaires Trainings Only. We are proud to support and listen to Good Deeds Live every Mondays and Thursday at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time with your host, the platform builder, Dr. Nate Sunday. So remember, wherever your mind can conceive and believe in your purpose, it can achieve. And don't stop. Get it, get it.
We just amazing. You know, the thing we actually have today, you know, everybody wants to have a business. Everybody wants to actually, they say they want freedom. They say they want, wealth. They want a legacy. But guess what? There are certain things you got to do and certain things you can't do, okay? And so that's actually, we're going to shine some light today. We actually have an awesome, fabulous, beautiful young lady here with us. I'm going to just give you a tip of the iceberg. She actually is a CFO and the owner of a Subway franchise here in the awesome state of Georgia. And we're going to actually hear, you know what? The business tips, the things you should be doing, the things you shouldn't be doing. Of course, she'll share her story of the awesome opportunity that she has afforded in her life that she actually gives back on a daily basis to everyone. We want to welcome none other than the awesome, the fabulous Margie LYNN. Are you there? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Hello? Margie, can you hear me?
Me? Hello?
Hello, Margie, can you hear me? This is Good Deeds. Welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Can you hear me now?
Yes. We're so excited to hear from you. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and the awesome things that's going on in your life.
Oh, thank you. Well, first I'd like to say hello and thank you for having me on your show. I really appreciate you. My name is Margie LYNN. Oh, you're welcome. My name is Margie LYNN. I own a Subway franchise here in Atlanta, in McDonough, Georgia. I've been in business for a little over 13 years, and I totally, absolutely love what I do.
Well, awesome. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you know she just told us just a tip of the iceberg. So let's just continue this conversation. Let us know how this dream actually started in your soul. Tell us how it actually got there. Tell us, we need to know the good and the bad. And I know this little slang that says the ugly. But we need to know these things because people see how beautiful you are, the amazing customers you have in your establishment. But go back, if it's okay, go back a little bit and tell us how this actually birthed in your spirit.
Okay, let me tell you how this is how everything got started. I grew up in the projects, and I read a lot of books. And for me, reading books, I knew it was a bigger world outside of what I grew up or how I grew up. I knew it was just more to come. There had to be more than these little four walls that I lived in. And I believe about the age of 10, I started dreaming and just having a big imagination. So, I'm going to say around the age of 10, I started thinking, I think I want my own business. The reason why I thought I wanted my own business, usually, most of the time, you go to school, you have friends, and on the weekends I would spend the night with some of my friends, and most of my friends lived in houses. But I lived in an apartment complex. So I wanted to know what were their parents doing different that my mother or my parent wasn't doing for them to live in houses while we lived in an apartment. So, most of the time on the weekends when I spent the night with my friends, I stopped, sit to the table, talk to their parents first before I go upstairs to play with my friends. And I would ask the parents, I was just curious. I asked them, what kind of business do you, no, I didn't say business. I didn't know yet. I'll ask, what kind of work did you do? And they will always tell me that they owned a business. But at that age, I honestly didn't know what a business was. But in my head, I started believing to have a house like this, I'm going to have to own a business. I just can't have a regular job and work because my mom worked and we lived in an apartment. So just by sitting around, listening to other people's parents talk, I just started having it in my head, this is what I want to do. So most of the time, I would continue to read my books. I read magazines. And during a time when I was just dreaming in my magazines, I would always see the city of Atlanta. It would be women, men with their own businesses. They were just doing great. And I wanted to be in those same shoes. So as I got a little older, I had a cardboard box. I would cut pictures out of magazines and I would put them on my cardboard box. I had pictures of cars, of nice houses, like they were brick houses. I would have pictures of nice clothes and different types of shoes, all the things that I always wanted. And I would paste this on a cardboard box, all my pictures, and I put it in the bottom of my closet. And every day when I come home from school, I would look at it and just imagine that I'm living in this house, I'm driving this car, I had these type of clothes. It was just stayed in my head. And as I got older, the dream of me owning a business just stayed with me. And what happened, my mom, she was a daycare center teacher. But on the weekends, my mom worked and she cleaned other people's houses and homes. So just by being in someone else's house to clean it, it still gave me that feeling that one day I'm going to have a house like this. But once, it was myself, my two sisters, we helped my mom clean this lady's house one Saturday. And the lady, after we cleaned up the house, she kept telling us to go do more and more. So we would continue to go clean other areas of her home that she wanted. And when we left, I saw her give my mom $30. So my mom was in the car, and we were driving, and my mom said that she was going to take us to Dairy Queen. And so I said, Mom, I said, Mom, do you know when a lady is going to pay you the rest of your money? And so my mom was like, oh, no, that was the pay. That was it. And so I'm only 10 years old or 12, and I'm thinking, no, we did too much work for $30. So I was a little upset. I didn't even want Dairy Queen. I didn't want any ice cream because I felt bad. I don't even want to spend my mom's money after all that work we just did for ice cream. Because cleaning the house and doing that much work was not worth the reward of ice cream. So I just looked down at the floor in the car, and I looked back up at my mom, and I said, Mom, we're not cleaning another house again unless it's our own. And I don't know if – I believe it registered with her, and she probably was thinking, oh, I can't believe, my child, someone this young, would think like this. So that day forward, my mom, I don't think we ever cleaned another house again. And I know most weekends, my sister, my mom, and all of us, we went fishing. Almost every weekend we went fishing. That was our hobby. And just the dream of me wanting to have my own business just so I wouldn't have to work that hard for a little amount of money, I said, I'm going to have to go to college. I'm going to have to go to a business school so I can learn as much about business as I possibly could. So I did end up going to GOLDEY BEACOM College in Delaware, and that's a business school. It's a small business school. And before I went to college, in high school, like your senior year, I guess if you do well in school, the state sends people, they would send people out to your school to come and get you out of for a work program and let you know what you're going to be doing when you graduate. You're going to be working here. You're going to be doing this. So I remember the state Social Security office. They came to pick me up from school, and they took me downtown to Dover to the Social Security office, and they were showing me my desk, a little cubicle where I would be working when I graduated from high school. And they were showing me around the office, introducing me to other employees there. And the lady said to me, she said, oh, you're going to do great here. You're going to be making $13,000 a year. And I've just always been good with numbers, and I'm adding up this $13,000 in my head. I'm thinking that's a little over $1,000 a month. I'm going to have to pay rent when I grow up. I'm going to have to have me a car. I'm going to have a car note. I'm going to have to pay electric. I'm going to have to buy clothes. I said, that's not enough money. So when I went home, I told my mom, I said, Mom, the state came to pick me up from school, and they told me that I'm going to be working downtown. I'm going to be making $13,000 a year. And she was like, oh, that's really good. And I never said anything bad or negative to my mom because I just worshiped the ground she walked on. So I just kept it in my head that I'm not going to be working there. I'm going to college. So I didn't go there to work. I went off to college. And while I was in school, I took a lot of business classes. And even some of the students were starting little startup businesses, or they were working for their parents who owned the business. So while I was in school, I ended up leaving school. I had $50 after I paid off all my bills. You had little, credit card bills, like a store, like the Limited Express, little stores like where we would shop at the mall. I remember paying off all my bills one summer. And I said, I'm moving to Atlanta. And I had $50 left after I paid off all my bills. And I moved to Atlanta. And I was 25 years old. I had $50 in my pocket, and I drove here. And within a week, I found a job. And the whole time that I lived in Atlanta and I worked, I still had in my head that I want to own my own business. So, most of the jobs that I had, I didn't make a lot of money. But the one thing I appreciated about all my jobs, in my head, I was learning business tactics. So I was like, no matter where I work, I'm learning because it's going to help me with my business. Whenever I decide to have a business or start a business, I'll have a lot of practice. And I remember it was called Georgia Baptist Hospital at the time. It's downtown in Atlanta. But the name has changed now. It's called Atlanta Medical Center. But I worked there, and I worked very hard. I went to work every day. I didn't complain about my pay or anything. I was just happy to have a job and be able to work so I can save towards my dream of what I wanted to do. And while I was there, my boss told me one day, he was like, Margie, you're going to be successful. And, you just smile because if somebody else sees something in you, you're like, oh, wow. It just makes you feel good that someone sees greatness in you besides your mom always telling you how great you are. So he said, you're always the first one at work. You're always the last to leave. Gosh, you're going to do well in life. And, when I walked away from my boss, I was a little sad because what my boss didn't know, the reason why I was always the first person at work, because I was sleeping in my car underneath the parking garage, because most days if I drove home, I wouldn't have enough gas money to make it back to work the next day. And by me going through that and realizing, still in my head, I'm still thinking, a job cannot afford me. And the reason you work so hard and you still can't afford the average normal things in life, like groceries to pay your bills like your rent, like just normal things you have to live, your car note, just basic things of living. So during that time, as I worked at the hospital, I still tried to save and do whatever I could. And probably, I'm going to say I worked at the hospital in my 20s. When I turned 30, I started writing a business plan. Because although I wanted a business, I wasn't doing things to get my business. So I started writing a business plan. I started writing all the things I want and what I was going to do. And it started out, I wanted to own a small little fitness center. But that didn't pan out. But what happened, I ended up buying my first rental property in my early 30s. And when I bought that property, I rented it out. And when I rented that out and I was getting all this extra money from it, like say if my mortgage was $400 and maybe I was getting $1,000 a month for rent, I was gaining an extra $600 on top of already paying the mortgage. Someone else was paying off my house while I'm gaining this extra $600 a month. And I learned that because I worked at an apartment complex. I was a leasing agent at Hidden Creek Apartments in Morrow, Georgia. And in my head, I'm just thinking, I can't believe people pay this much money for rent. I mean, they don't even own the place.
Right.
So just like a 3-bedroom was over $900 and some, which sounds cheap now because rent is really ridiculous now. But I said, I'm going to get me some rental properties, and that's what I did. I had bought my first condo in Union City, and I rented it out. And then I bought another one, and I rented it out. And during that time, I had got married, and my husband had got laid off from his job. And when he got laid off from his job, he was like, Margie, you know, you're really smart. So what kind of business do you want to start? Let's just go for it. So I'm like, I don't know. Maybe we can do real estate. I still didn't know what type of business I wanted, but I just knew I wanted to do business. And the fact that he was laid off from work, we would go work out at the Y every day because we had so much time on our hands. So by us working out, we would go eat at a fast food restaurant, which was Subway, because we wanted to go someplace healthy since we were working out. And we would eat at Subway almost every day. And I know. My husband's like, you think you could run one of these? I was like, I don't know. I really don't want to work in fast food. You know, growing up, nobody wanted to work at McDonald's.
Well, all of us, most of us did. Most of us. Well, let me ask you this question because this would probably a lot of people want to know. What was maybe one or two things that kept you going to this point where you are with your husband going to the Subway? Because that's what most people need to know. You don't know what the dream exactly. You don't have it down 100%, but you know that you want to do greater, as we know the song by Jacqueline Carr. Greater. We want greater. What's maybe one or two things that kept you going, even though you wasn't on that actual target, which we know now is your purpose?
Yes. Number one, I didn't have anything else to do. Tomorrow is still going to come. I look at people who go to college, and they have 4 years to get your bachelor's degree. You quit school to do whatever, but 4 years from now, the time still came, but you still don't have your degree when you could have had it. So I look at things as time. I look at everything as time, numbers. I'm just a numbers girl. I realize I have nothing else to do but continue to push and strive to get the business that I've been dreaming of having all this time. I'm 25. I turned 30. I'm going to continue to mature and grow in age. What's stopping me from achieving the things that I want? And I just never give up. My mind is so positive it scares me. Like in the worst situation, I'm seeing the best of anything. I don't know where. I'm going to say God. I was going to say I didn't know where that comes from, but I'm going to say it comes from God.
Right, amen.
I just
believe
stay
that.
positive. Yes, no matter
now
what.
continue the story. When you say, okay, I just wanted to get that in because so many people actually kind of miss that in the process. Even with my life, anesthesiologist, then media, then all the other things, publisher, all the things I do now. But you know what? I thought anesthesia was it, and that's what people need to realize that. You may not say this 100% of where your purpose, but guess what? As you go, you actually get that perfected. But continue the story because now every day you guys are at Subway.
We're eating lunch, and we decided, okay, maybe we can do this. So I go to the counter. I talk to the young man that's working behind the counter, and he's like, oh, you could buy one of these. It only costs $10,000. So I own rental properties. So I was like, I have $10,000 in my account. I was like, this is going to be easy. So I go online. I figure out how to get the application to apply for a Subway franchise. And I got my application. As a matter of fact, I believe I called the 1-800 number on the napkin. I don't even think I was doing anything on the computers yet. But I called the 1-800 number on the napkin. I called Subway. They mailed me the application. I filled out the application. And you know what the $10,000 was for? That wasn't to buy a Subway. That was to fill out the application. That's the application fee, was $10,000. So let me tell everybody, do your own research. Do not just listen to what other people say. Do your own homework to find out the things that you really want to do. But we filled out the application. We mailed in our certified funds, the $10,000, and, Subway called right away, and they set us up. We had to go downtown to Atlanta and take a math and English test, which was super duper easy. We made clear 100s. It was just very easy, and I prayed about everything. I continued to pray for what I wanted. The next step that we did, we went to corporate. Corporate is in Connecticut. It's in Milford, Connecticut. You go there for 2 weeks, and you train for a week in classroom. You do only classroom work, accounting, business. Everything's business related to owning a Subway franchise. Your second week there, you actually work in a Subway. So we did that for 2 weeks. And the last day that you're there, you take your final exam. The test starts at 8 in the morning. It ends at 5 in the evening. I was finished at 4:45. That's how long and how hard that test was.
Wow.
They trick you in the beginning with the easy test. The last test was the hardest. It took me the whole day to finish the test. And, when afterwards, everybody, all the owners or people who are trying to become Subway owners are in the hallway waiting to hear their test scores. And people are nervous. People are crying. And my husband comes out. I think he walked out maybe 5 minutes before the test was over. And he's like, babe, I failed that test. He's like, but you're so smart. He's like, I know you passed. In my head, I didn't say anything to him, but I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I failed that test, but I know you passed. I was just thinking the exact same thing. But we both passed the test. And you have to have 80% or higher. I know. They come out, they give you your certificate that you're now Subway franchise owner. So you fly back home, you find your location, and you're all set to start working. And they actually send someone in your store, and they work with you for a week, and then you're on your own, actually. But with my first store, I have to say I went out of business. And let me tell you why I went out of business. My first store, I was a worker. I worked open to close. That's all I knew was how to work. And I also remember I said I prayed for this store. But once I got this store, it was me, 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 me. I thought I did everything. But it wasn't all about me, but I thought it was about me. And God took away what I stopped praying for. So once I went out of business and I went through that struggle of understanding, okay, Margie, once you get your business back, because remember, I still think positive. I know I'm going to get another business. I just don't know when, but I know it's coming. Once I got back into business, I changed my business name. My first business was named, my last name is Lynn. My first business was named LYNN Incorporated because I thought it was all about me. Although you own a franchise, you still have to have your own business name. So my business now is called PGFIRST Incorporated. And PGFIRST means put God first. Because now I know who's really in charge. It's not all about me anymore. I see a bigger picture. I'm in my community. Yes, you have to be. I'm a part of my community now. And that's what really matters to me. It's not even about me. It's not about the bigger houses, how many cars I can have. Though all that stuff will come, I just know that by me putting God first and doing what he tells me to do, that he's going to take care of all the rest.
Wow. I just love that. Well, let me ask you this, because this is what a lot of people want to, because I love Subway and everybody loves Subway. On a day-to-day basis, because, people love to ask me as well with all the things that I do. We call it the D word in around my camp, the delegating. How should we delegate certain things? I know when we started, when you start your business, you're doing everything. Okay, you're doing from the graphics to the website, But when you actually can get a little leverage going there, how should we, and of course, in the way you do it, because, you're dealing with so many people, different schedules, different people ordering supplies, and it has to be done of excellent. How should we approach being, delegating and delegating effectively in any business?
You need a team. What I learned, the first time I did everything myself, I was my own accountant, I was my own attorney, I cleaned my store, I worked my store open and close, I took care of the customers, I ordered the food, I did everything which will burn you out. I kind of basically didn't trust anybody. I was too concerned about my money. I was thinking, I don't want anybody going to the bank for me. I don't want anybody doing this or that. But really, you're only hurting yourself. You're going to burn yourself out by being that way. You have to have trust, and you have to let go. When you hire somebody as your manager, let them handle their managerial duties. You can't hire someone and then you continue to do their job and watch over them. I don't do that. Once I train you, you're on your own. I trust that you're going to take care of my store, you're going to do your job, and we're going to do this together. And what you do, you have monthly meetings. That way you can keep up with everything that goes on in your business anyway. You must have a good rapport with your management team. They would definitely take care of everything for you. Wow.
I just love that. Now, so in your case, it's been, over 13 years that you're doing this now. Oh, God, I guess sometimes you have to pinch yourself every now and then.
It's true. And time flies. It's crazy. Time just flies. Wow. It goes by so fast. But you get better with time.
Ooh,
you definitely get better with time.
That's a nugget right there. Yes. Now, time goes by so quickly here at Good Deeds. Do us a favor, because, I know, ladies and gentlemen, we always have guests that try to keep stuff a secret. Tell us about the major project that you have, coming up when it's time, because we got to make sure we stay plugged with you, that we actually support you in the things that you're doing. So tell us about, as much as you can, I know, about the major project that you're working on.
Well, I have a few things going on. For one, back into real estate. Number two, I'm also partners with my cousin, a family member. Her name is Veronica Jones. She has a nonprofit organization called 717 Experience, and you can go online and pull it up at 717experience.org. And it's to mentor young girls from the age of 7 to 17. That is something so great, because growing up, besides your mother, you have to, like even now in business, when people tell you you need a mentor, you have to look towards someone else to help you get to the next level. Although you have a great imagination and you believe things are going great, we all still need somebody in our life to help mold us and take us to the next level. So that's what we plan to do with these young girls.
Wow.
I also have have a book coming out, and my book is called $50 in a Dream. And my book is named $50 in a Dream because I moved to Atlanta with $50 in my pocket, and my dream was to start my own business, and it's things that I've achieved. And in that book, you're going to hear my whole story from the beginning with my sisters, us growing up, having fun in the projects and enjoying life, up until now, myself being and becoming a businesswoman. So I'm very excited about that.
Oh, Lord, I'm in tears. You got me in tears. I'm so happy and proud of you. But please do us a favor, how we can support you, how we can contact you, and how we actually can support you on social media as well.
Well, my Subway franchise is located in McDonough, Georgia. The address there is 2135 Highway 155 North in McDonough, Georgia. You can look me up online. You can just put in Margie LYNN Subway. I'm also on Instagram at $50 in a Dream. And I just joined Facebook last year, probably in December. And on Facebook, I'm Margie LYNN, but there's lots of Margie LYNN. So if you punch in Margie LYNN Subway, I'll pop up. So those are some ways that you can stay in contact with me.
Oh, I just love her. She's a lover, but she's very down to earth, ladies. But she know how to do the spirit of excellence, and she do things well. Okay, but oh my God, oh wow. But thank you so much for one being in your purpose, and thank you so much for being a guest here on Good Deeds. If you need us for anything, please don't hesitate to contact us.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Oh, you're welcome. Ooh, Lord, ladies and gentlemen, now that's what they say. She's just amazing. You know, when you're in your purpose, you can hear it in your voice. You can do everything you do is gonna, like she said, one time she had to make sure she kept God first. And I always do that, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to actually get any information about us here at Good Deeds, please go to our website, www.Renee, which is RENEE, Sunday, SUNDAY.com. From the radio, the TV, the different networks that we're on, and the ones we coming to be on, we got a big news coming up with that very shortly. And then also the publishing company, me speaking personally, and also the ministerial things that I do from grief counseling. All that information is at one place. But always remember, you do have a calling. You do have a reason. One, you were born. You have a reason you're here right now. You got to do the three things: believe, trust, and walk it out. You have to don't stop. You got to get it. This is Good Deeds, and I'm Dr. Renee Sunday. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Napa know-how.
A Napa guy knows more isn't always better, unless we're talking about full-size vans. These beasts do more than get you from A to B. They have so much space a man can live in it. With shag carpeting, waterbed, and a sweet lava lamp, these mobile abodes have all the comforts of home. With quality parts and plenty of Napa know-how, you can keep the original tiny house running longer, stronger. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.